Hi everyone. Hello. How are you? Hope you're good. Hope you are fine. You're welcome to Lawyers Info Hub. It's a pleasure to create content on this channel. Today we're looking at having an improved annual general conference. The annual general conference is always a conference organized every year for lawyers to come together to meet, discuss, share knowledge, have their annual general meeting. It's a conference where lawyers of different ages, once you're called to the Nigerian bar, it is a yearly conference, and over time, it's been wonderful. It's been going on well despite the COVID problems and all of that. So, how do we now, start preparing? How do we now put up our minds or put our heads together to have an improved annual general conference? The last conference just ended, which was titled Bold Transition. Bold transition in my only to understanding means that we're moving to the next level boldly, and not just that you're boldly transiting, you're transiting to something better. So I must congratulate our new MBA president, and I believe that God will give him wisdom, understanding to, direct the affairs of the Nigerian Bar Association. So, being a participant at the last annual general conference, I observed some things which I felt I can share to, you know, help or to, help the executive if they will come across this video to, take back home and put things in the right perspective for a better conference for all of us. Now, having a beautiful conference involves a lot of planning. The last conference, the TTCP, that's the planning committee, they did their best, in as much as there were one or two challenges here and there, which is not so new to us because such a conference involving thousands of people, over 13,000, it might not be too easy to satisfy everybody, but we need to get the things we need to get done. Now, there are things, when you're doing a program or a conference, there are one or two oversights here and there, but at the same time, you do your own part. When we play our part well, things align, to work the way we want them to work. One of the things we need to improve on, I will start from it because it's one of those things that try to mar the last administration and try to mar a beautiful outing for the last conference, is the issue of conference materials. With the way the Nigerian Bar Association is growing, the number of delegates that want to come around, it is expedient and it has become necessary that people assess this or have this conference back before the conference. The reason why it is so is that it will help, reduce the kind of embarrassing situation we had the last time we had over the last conference, which caused the public to have an insight of what the kind of lawyers that we are raising in this time and generation. You know, I must say that if these conference bags are made available before the conference, it will help the conference delegates to have access to them before they arrive the venue of the conference. That way, for people who wanted to come, but for one reason or the other, they couldn't make it, we also have access to their materials. Now, these conference materials can be taken to the various branches 2 weeks before the conference, 1 week before the conference. People should go to their branches to collect their materials. So that if, for example, for some reasons, people still need to collect their conference, it will be like a 1% of the whole entire number of delegates that will now want to collect theirs at the conference venue. That means that way it will have reduced the number of people who will be crowded in one place to collect conference material. And and I know they just a few, maybe few people, conference material should get to the branches earlier enough to enable the branch chairman organized way to collect for delegates to collect their conference materials. That means if conference materials ought to get to the branches before the conference, that means the registration portal for the conference should be open early enough to enable people access the early fund registration and even the late payment, so that once it ends, the next thing is now the how to share the conference materials. So once the opening for payment is open early, yes, the registration process should start early to enable people pay, to enable the planning committee plan well, so to enable the materials get to the branches before the conference. People should not take their conference but come and line up to get numbers of in the thousands to get conference materials. Because why this is kind of not kind of on an equal equilibrium is that the people, the host, the delegates in the host state will have preference. Because like in the last conference, people in Lagos, for example, had better chances of collecting theirs earlier than people who were coming in from different states. But when these conference materials are pushed or sent to the branches, it gives everyone that same level of participation, level of access to the material. So you can get your materials before coming to the place of the conference. That's what the last ugly incident that happened wouldn't have been averted. Please, we pray the leadership of the Nigerian Bar Association, our amiable president, will look into this, because if what happened the last time happens again, it may not be this light. It may not, the damage, the colossal damage will be greater than what happened the last time. So, but we as as an association must do what we need to do. If people have paid for conference bags, they should have access to them without delay, without conditions, without standing under the sun for hours. They should have it like going to your branch meeting to pick your bar center to pick your conference. It should be that easy. It should be that easy. Technology has helped us to do these things together. It should be that easy. And another thing is that um, the conference materials, as much as we want quality, as much as we want the best, it should not be given to one vendor to supply. That because can be contacted in breakout sessions. If you were in the last conference, you will see that the breakout sessions were so empty in terms of not in the quality of what was being given by the facilitators, but by the people, delegates who were supposed to sit down to enjoy these breakout sessions. The breakout sessions were part of the highlights of the conference. We had great sessions and people were not there. As much as people have things to do and everybody is entitled to their opinion and you can't restrict other people, but the quality, the association is spending so much to bring in facilitators, to bring in speakers, and people are not there to listen. Then there is a problem. We have to find a way to make these conversations um participatory, find a way around. I don't know how we're going to do it, but I know that the next planning committee should be able to sit down and ask themselves questions. How do we make people? Is it that we are going to allot points, CLE points to this breakout session, so that once you attend a CLE a session, you should be able to have some points, CLE points allotted to you. That way, maybe people will have to sit down to listen, because you can, having spent so much to bring in speakers and people, the halls were empty, it shows something is wrong. We can't grow without knowledge. If this knowledge are brought to us on a platter of gold, having paid so much to access it, I don't know why people were not patient enough or didn't want to sit down to attend these various sessions. So the new leadership to look into how to make lawyers sit down and get this knowledge. Because knowledge is power. When you stop learning, you stop growing. You are at the level of your knowledge. You can't grow past your knowledge. So if these great sessions are being put together for the benefit of lawyers and the lawyers are nowhere to be found, then there is a problem. Another thing that can help improve our annual general conferences in the future is location. Now, it's people have been complaining here, it's been rotated amongst big cities in recent times and all that. But we must also understand the security problems we are facing as a nation. So that has affected movement of people, that has affected locations for programs and all that. So in a bid to curtail this, MBA as an association can get a permanent site in terms of conference city where we're going to be having our conferences. Get a big, it could be anywhere. It could be by referendum, by choice, or by vote. So people to say, okay, this is the MBA city located in this state and in a very safe place, accessible to all, where people, we know that every year for annual general conference, we're going to a conference city. The construction of that placement is not urgent. It might take years, but each administration must make commitment towards helping or putting in money to development of that conference city. You know, that place could even have hostels or can have hotels, can have small accommodation there. It should be a city, Nigerian Bar Association city. It could be a conference city, MBA city, and whatever it can be named. It's a long-term project, but we can start. Until we start, we'll know how much or how feasible it can be. We have to start to do it, or if we can't assess that, or we can apply to government for that. If we can assess that, then when it is located in cities, let us also look out for how to divert traffic. You know, traffic has been one of the reasons why many people stay back in their hotels. As much as we have the virtual platform where you can connect to view live what's happening and the various sessions and all that. It's also imperative for us to understand that people want to come to that city, explore the city without disruption of traffic. If you're going to spend 1 hour in a place, moving forward, you don't understand what's happening, and it's a new city to you, what exactly do you want people to be? It's so discomforting. People would rather stay back in their hotel rooms and they'll find something else to do. So we should look out for cities that are not too crowded, or even if it's a very busy commercial city, you should locate these conferences in places that are not too overpopulated. So to help people access this place, as much as we're considering also hotel accommodation and all of that, it should be a factor. So we hope that location should be considered, in the next or future agencies. Another very important point is the issue of having, like this last conference, we had the opening ceremony in a different place. We have the quarter conference sessions in different place. If these things can be put together, wherever we are getting, it's also part of the location. You should be able to contain all the program, not having to go to a different point for the opening ceremony, for the closing ceremony, and go to another place for breakout sessions. It's kind of, many people are not so buoyant enough, or it's not too, they're here, they're there. It's kind of distracting, and sometimes people feel we should be focused. So location is also key. That is, if you can get a very big facility to contain everything, you do everything in one place. It's a very important that so that in that period of conferences, a lot of things also go on. They're kind of diverse programs. Everybody's trying to do something within that short space and short time. It's also very important that more activities should be also be given to the Young Lawyers Forum. We did a nice session. It was wonderful under the job fairs and all of that. But I think it's also time for long lawyers to, get to know themselves, because the young lawyers are the future of the profession. Whether we like it or not, as the older ones are getting older, the younger ones are coming up. So the younger ones should be taught the procedures. We should be taught this is the conference should be another opportunity for us to have a session on how to, as well as the last conference we had fit for purpose and all that. But we should have more sessions that will help the young lawyer be formed, that will help the long lawyer know what exactly needs to do in terms of comportment, in terms of courage, in terms of behavior. We should not lose sight of that. Every session, every opportunity we have for another general conference, we should have programs that fit into helping people align to the ethics, to mannerism, the way and manner a lawyer should behave, act, and all of that. It's always a busy week, and we may not really have enough time to do all the things we desire to do. But as the new president has promised issues of the continuing legal education will be frequent and all of that. Yes, I just hope that this administration will be able to do so much for that in that area, teach people, because people need to learn as much as some of these programs are paid, while some are not paid. You should do more that are not paid so that people can have full access to them and earn the XLE points where necessary. The new president has a lot in stock. We hope that um, everything work out well for him and he'll be able to put into reality all his desires for the MBA to move to the next level. A lot of people are looking up to us. A lot of people are looking up to us. A lot of people are looking up to us. So you must be able to stand up as that association that people are looking up to. Now, the issue of the friendship center, having a better and a more robust or a more lively friendship center. I think we should think of other programs. We should involve certain in any city we are going, beyond the exhibition by the state government. The friendship center should also be a place where cultures are being displayed. We should factor in such a way that any city that is hosting the annual general conference, let's look for the cultural aspect of that city and showcase it at the friendship center. That way, beyond giving a day or a session for the state government to do their presentation, it should be something that is ongoing. People should be able to come to a state and say, wow, this was what I learned. I learned about the culture of the state. I learned about the historic history, or the history, or whatever historic analogies concerning the state. So I think that way it will make the friendship center somewhere people will love to go. And also that as you're leaving that conference, you'll be able to see that I learned something from this conference. I saw the culture of these people. You should involve the community or the state you're coming into. The Ministry of Culture and Information should be involved so that they can come and showcase. It should be a mini exhibition. Let's know about that state. As much as we are taking people from state to state, people should be able to know about the state they've been to. Be able to know, I learned something, I saw this. It should be there should be a mini exhibition allotted to the state government of that state we're going to, for them to showcase their culture, what makes them their state, what's the history about their state. It should also be factored in. So annual general conferences is not a time for one to come, and I suppose that the networking is very key and paramount there. The getting more books, the discounts, the sales, and all of that are some of the highlights. But at the same time, it should be something that should be more rewarding. The experience should be something that will leave an indelible mark in the hearts of attendees and the delegates. People should be able to note safety is very, 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 very key. The safety is very, very key. People should be educated on how to stay safe in any state they are in, coming in for the state annual general conference. Numbers to call, there's an emergency, if there's a medical emergency or whatever, as much as the planning committee did their best in their brochure to see, okay, these are the possible hospitals around this place, these are the possible eateries around that you need something. But more should be done. Like there should be toll-free numbers that one can call, once there is a problem or once there is a challenge. I also thank the new president who has made effort, or has stated in his inaugural speech, to reduce the fare for young lawyers. These young lawyers, many of them could not attend the conference because of the exorbitant prices in terms of registration, transportation, accommodation. So if you have a way to subsidize these things, these young lawyers, they need to come and know what is happening. As well as the older lawyers also needs to come attend the annual general conference. But our focus should be more on the young lawyers, yes, because they are the energy of the association. They are the fulcrum of the society, of the association. So we need to carry them along. Having an improved annual general conference also involved having time, creating an enabling environment for the young lawyers to attend. Whether they are, to be able to subsidize in a way that they can afford it, and come for it, and also know what the association is all about. Network, get to meet people, understand what the MBA stands for, our ethics, the profession is all about. So I pray that this new executive led by our honorable president, will be able to do something spectacular, look into the certain issues. The remuneration of lawyers is a very big problem. Welfare of lawyers is something they should have to look more into. The past administration did their best. They did wonderfully well. So there should be a continuum, as much as each person, each administration have their own innovation, but it should not just scrape out what the last administration wanted to achieve or try to achieve. There should be a continuum. There should be like a synchronization between two administrations, so that the legacy of one doesn't just fades away. There should be a continuing legacy. So it's been a wonderful time. Lawyer Simple Up is here to give you updates, legal content that will help you become a better lawyer, that will help you become that you desire to be. You know, the sky can be your starting point. You can be wherever you want to be. You can exceed the expectation of your equals, the expectation of your contemporaries. It's about your resilient spirit. It's about you deciding to be the best. If you are yet to subscribe to the channel, we ask that you please do subscribe to our channel, share this video, share the content, and we have other content on the channel to help you become better. Do take care of yourself and know that you are the best. Do take care.